On June 22nd, 1990 in Tallahassee, Florida, Robbie Faye Vann was waiting in her car while her family shopped in the mall. Suddenly, a man armed with a knife attempted to steal her car, and Robbie fought back. She tried to honk the horn, but the man stabbed her 20 times, killing her. The car crashed and he fled on foot, but he was captured in a backyard with the knife still in his hand. The suspect's name was Donald Dillbeck, a convicted murderer who managed to escape from a prison catering event. Welcome to History's Biggest Villains. Donald Dillbeck was born on May 24, 1963 in El Paso, Texas. His mother was an alcoholic, and his father walked out on the family. Donald was placed in several foster homes, and then something changed in him. When he was 15, he stabbed a man with a screwdriver in a carjacking and was wanted in Indiana. Donald was all the way in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, but he stopped to get some sleep. But he was illegally parked at a closed beach. Someone became suspicious and called the police. Lee County Deputy Dwight Hall arrived on the scene and questioned him. Donald kicked the deputy in the groin and ran. Dwight gave chase and tackled him. Then a scuffle ensued. Donald got a hold of the officer's gun and shot him right above the eye and then once more in the back, killing him. He tried to escape, but with over 100 police officers searching for him, he was found less than 100 yards away from the body. Donald quickly confessed and was charged with first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. On February 7, 1983, Donald managed to escape the prison, but he was recaptured. For this offense, he got a year and a day added to his sentence. His life sentence was later changed to a 25-year mandatory minimum, and he was placed in a minimum security facility. Even with an escape attempt on his record, Donald didn't stay out of trouble, adding an attempted assault in 1984 and getting caught with alcohol in 1985. Despite these infractions, he was one of 10 inmates that would cater an event for senior citizens at an elementary school. Donald somehow managed to slip away past 3 correctional officers, walk into Tallahassee, getting his hands on a paring knife. Robbie Vann was waiting in her car while her family shopped in the mall. Donald approached the vehicle with the knife drawn and demanded a ride, claiming that he had forgotten how to drive, but Robbie honked the horn and attempted to drive off. Then Donald stabbed her 20 times in the neck and stomach, even slitting her throat. He crashed the car soon after and fled on foot, but he was quickly caught in someone's backyard with a knife still in his hand. This egregious example of negligence on behalf of the staff got the attention of the governor, who called for tighter custody of inmates. He ordered the secretary of the corrections department to draft rules that prevented inmates like Donald from serving on work detail. 3 employees were fired, and 8 were put on administrative leave for 10 days, paid, of course. Donald was convicted of first-degree murder, armed robbery, and armed burglary, and was sentenced to death on March 15, 1991. He had 2 more life sentences added on to the one he was already serving, and he was put on death row. At the sentencing, Donald told the judge, "I'm really sorry for what happened. I wish it didn't. Not because I'm standing here, but because it happened. I'm asking for a life sentence, not for my sake, but for my parents' sake." Yeah, because who cares about the woman you just stabbed? On January 23, 2023, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed his death warrant, scheduling his execution for February 23rd. The night before the execution, the Supreme Court rejected a last-minute appeal by Donald's attorneys, who argued that the neurological impact of his mother's heavy drinking during her pregnancy and abuse after he was born should be the reason for the justices to spare his life. At 9:45 a.m., he had his last meal: fried shrimp, mushroom, onion rings, butter pecan ice cream, pecan pie, and a chocolate bar. He was executed that day at Florida State Prison via lethal injection. He was pronounced dead at 6:13 p.m. Donald's last words were an attack on the governor, saying, "I know I hurt people when I was young. I really messed up. But I know Ron DeSantis has done a lot worse. He's taken a lot from a lot of people. I speak for all men, women, and children. He's put his foot on our necks. Ron DeSantis and other people like him can suck our dicks." Donald was the first person executed in Florida since the execution of Gary Ray Bowles in 2019, and the 100th since the state reinstated capital punishment in 1976. How do you let him get out? How is he able to slip past 3 correctional officers? And you're at an event in an elementary school where there's kids. You're not being diligent enough to watch the inmates? What are you doing? The fact that he had an attempted escape, an assault, and you get caught with alcohol, but somehow he's still able to go on work release. He's a first-degree murderer. Like, how is he getting permitted for work release? He's on a life sentence. You can tell this dude was already mentally gone as a young kid because you're 15 years old and you stab a guy trying to steal a car, and then when you get stopped by the cop, your first thought is to run away, and then you shoot and kill a cop. Like, at 15, like, what in the world? But that's still no excuse for what he did. You know, I mean, a lot of people have mental illnesses, but they don't go out and shoot cops and stab random women. Another example of these systems, man, these systems just letting people slip through the cracks, and then another person gets killed because of the negligence of the prison staff. Like, an innocent woman just got killed. She's just waiting for her family, and some random guy just rolls up and kills her. Thank you. Please be safe. Have a great day. Stay on the grind. I'm out. Peace.